Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another crime cast. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So let's do a sound check. 1 2 1 2. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, I guess I won't see anything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that's in the building early. Shout out to everybody that's here already. We got Volvo 2 Love in the building. We got Carla Lockard in the building. We got my man Torian Rain in the house. And we got Lemon Lucas. All right. Good to see everybody in here. All right. So this is the 200 subscriber special. You know what I'm saying? The 200 subscriber special. You know what that means? That means shout out to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker. That means that we are 800 away from 1,000. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're trying to get to, 1,000. So we are 800 subscribers away from 1,000. So help your boy reach 1,000 by smashing that like button, sharing the video out, and watching the older videos. All right. So we got a couple things to talk about, and I got a question. There was 2 other things that I wanted to talk about today, but they wouldn't be on this channel. You know what I'm saying? They would probably have to be on BLR1. So I wanted to talk about the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, and I also wanted to talk about the other train derailments that took place in East Palestine. So if you guys would be interested in live streams about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys aren't, I'll just probably make a video about it like I had planned to do in the beginning. So we're going to start out talking about some rappers. I got a question. Who heard about this? There was an arrest warrant issued for rapper Kodak Black after allegedly testing positive for fentanyl. All right. So let's see what they're talking about here. All right. Look at him. They got him in the county uniform. Look at that.
Kodak Black could be facing trouble with the law yet again. An arrest warrant has been issued for the South Florida native whose legal name is Bill Capri. The artist is accused of violating his bail by failing a drug test earlier this month. Authorities say the test revealed traces of fentanyl. His release has since been revoked, and the arrest warrant was signed by a Broward County judge late last week. The 25-year-old was initially arrested last July after Florida Highway Patrol troopers pulled him over and found 31 oxycodone tablets and nearly $75,000 in cash. Officials say he was also driving with an expired driver's license and tags.
Here's my question. Why? Why? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? That's the question. Shout out to Hob. What's good with it, bro? That's my question, bro. Why are you using fentanyl? Do you use it as a pain reliever every time you get one of those stupid ass tattoos on your face? Man, I just gotta get me some of this fentanyl, man, because that shit just goes so good with my dog food, man. You know what I'm saying? Stupid ass. Shout out to my man DJ Elmo. What's good with it? This is the epitome of a loser. You know what I'm saying? Authorities said that the 25-year-old rapper first failed to submit to a random drug and alcohol testing on February 3rd. Because I just gotta be high, man. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta be high. A few days later, on February 8th, he took a drug and alcohol test, which revealed traces of fentanyl. As a result, Black's release has been revoked, and an arrest warrant was signed by a Broward County judge on Thursday. Black was initially arrested in July of 2022 after a Florida Highway Patrol pulled him over and found 31 oxycodone tablets and $74,960 in cash, in addition to driving with an expired driver's license, tags, and plates. Why are you driving? You look at this. You got $74,960, and you couldn't take your stupid ass to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to update your registration. I'm telling y'all, these rappers are part of the mainstream media. If y'all don't understand that rap and hip hop has become an attack on black people more so than it was before, I don't know what to tell y'all. This is an attack. You know what I'm saying? People watch idiots like this and actually like these people and want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you guys a question. When is the last time you guys heard a country music song about familicide? When is the last time you heard a country music song about familicide? My grandma was worth $150,000. So I choked her and poured water on her while she was wearing a shock collar. And it felt so good. I stuck a baseball bat down my sister's throat so it was understood. When's the last time you heard a country song sounding like that? Were they talking about some shit that actually goes down in the suburbs? When is the last time? They don't pay them to make them songs about what goes on in the suburbs. Ja Rule, the only person, made a song about what went on in the suburbs. It's murder. Holla, holla. We about to steal all of the law firms' dollars. Push the maid down the stairs and break her collar. Put your hand on the Bible. It's murder. It's murder. Ja Rule was the only one rapping about what was going on in the suburbs. He made the song about murder. You know what I'm saying? Country music don't rat on themselves, and country music is the main reason why they learn how to use a meat processor and all that stuff to put people's dead bodies in after it, cut them up and kill them in the rural areas of the United States. They only have people like Kodak Black making music about what goes on in their world, what goes on inside of Kodak Black's world. You know what I'm saying? What goes on inside of Kodak Black's veins? He's shooting up dog food like fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? While Kodak Black is eating dog food, meanwhile in the suburbs somebody's eating a dog out. You know what I'm saying? But they're not making songs about it though. You know what I mean? Carrie Underwood said she tearing shit up if he cheats. Carrie Underwood would tear some shit up. Does she go into detail how she does it? She gonna poison him with her food? You know what I'm saying? She might do that accidentally. You know what I'm saying? Even if he don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes that when the food is undercooked, it can be lethal. You know what I'm saying? But that's rapper Kodak Black. You know what I'm saying? A willing participant, a willing sellout, you know what I'm saying, in the ethnic attacks on FBA here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So Travis Scott, all right? Travis Scott, a world-renowned mumble rapper. He was accused of punching a man in the face, and he caused $12,000 worth of equipment damage. Can you believe it? If you guys believe it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't believe it, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, Ja Morant is a rapper. He's a rapper that has naked women twerking next to him while he gets hugged up, sweaty, with a dude and waves a gun in the air. You know what I'm saying? That's shout out to Ja Morant, you know what I'm saying, for hustling all the way backwards. You know what I'm saying? Travis Scott is accused of punching a man in the face and causing $12,000 of equipment damage. So there he is. You know what I'm saying? Freshly braided hair. You know what I'm saying? Neck tattoo and all. Travis Scott allegedly punched a man in the face and caused $12,000 worth of damage to equipment, police sources tell Page Six. We're told cops responded to an assault call earlier on Wednesday at Nebula in Midtown, where the quote-unquote sicko mode rapper allegedly got into a verbal turned physical altercation with the sound engineer. The alleged victim did not complain of pain or have any visible injuries at the time of the report. Scott, who is 30, also allegedly damaged a video screen and a speaker before departing the nightclub in an unknown vehicle. We've learned that only a complaint was made and that Scott has not been arrested in connection to the alleged incident. So there goes Travis Scott right there. What do you think about the gold teeth? Is that gangster? Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of people died at his weird ass concert that he had. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brilliant folks with gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this shirt says, but it says something about Jesus, arm, and Mary chain or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Scott's lawyer said in a statement that the incident was being blown out of proportion. I bet you while Scott did it, his brain was blown out of proportion too. I bet you he had more drugs in his system than a CVS. You know what I'm saying? You know, these dudes nowadays, they think it's cool to drink Robitussin with codeine in it, lean, and then they mix a little bit of Finnegan, promethazine in it. These dummies think that they're pharmacists and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they act a fool and look a fool. You know what I'm saying? And then what they do is they try to get on TV and make it seem like this is the way for the youth to be. Hey, you want to be just like me? Drink a bottle of this Tylenol with codeine in it and kill your brain cells. You already at a disadvantage in life. You know what I'm saying? Now be an idiot like me and go be a slave. Go be a slave for some record company that's going to later on send all my files to his cousin that works in the justice system. And then I'll be sitting on TV looking stupid while they're taking all my shit back and prosecuting me. That's what they're telling your kids to be. Somebody needs to run these rappers up off the block. They don't weigh nothing but 70 pounds anyway. I remember when Snoop Dogg's skinny walking stick looking ass first came out. Y'all remember when Snoop Dogg came out looking like a walking stick with a Rottweiler's face on it? You remember that shit? And he morphed into the Rottweiler at the end of the G-string, at the end of the G-thing video, fucking G-string video, feminine ass motherfucker. Y'all remember that shit? Snoop Dogg disrespectful to the motherfucker. Murder was the case. All these punk ass motherfuckers have snitched. Jay-Z snitched to get off. Snoop Dogg, Calvin Brody is bitch ass snitched to get off. Fuck them hoe ass niggas, man. Y'all know how much damage that they allowed not just the J community to cause to black people, but they sold out to the Latino community too. Now when you go to California, you can't even tell the difference. Them niggas are lames. None of them motherfuckers tried to safeguard anything. All they did was sold out. People talking about safeguard the culture. Hip hop artists, the old school hip hop artists, are the main proponents. Let me ask y'all a question. How many black members of Terror Squad are there? How many black beat nuts are there? Y'all remember the Terror Squad? Y'all remember the beat nuts? How many are there? Shout out to Hob. None. Facts. Facts. And Fat Joe's Don Cartagena going around sitting up there saying the N-word every other word. Fat fuck with his head looking like a scrotum and shit. Fuck Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop need to be destroyed and rebuilt, just like Nas said. Shout out to my man Chili C. Yeah. Doberman headed ass. Snoop Dogg looked like a motherfucking walking stick with a Doberman head on it. Shout out to Vega. What's good with it, Vega? Shout out to Tone. What's good with it, bro? So now here it says Scott's lawyer said in a statement that the incident was being blown out of proportion. While this was clearly a misunderstanding being blown out of proportion by clickbait and misinformation, we are actively working with the venue and law enforcement to resolve and set the record straight, Mitchell Schussner said in a statement to Page 6. We are confident our client will be cleared of any wrongdoing. Nebula managing partner Richie Romero also says this is blown completely out of proportion. It was a great night. Let me ask you guys a question. When the last time an MC made a song about embracing villainy and taking over the neighborhood the real way and playing lockout, blockout and keeping other people out so that we could keep the wealth in? When the last time somebody made a song like that? You think that any of these companies would give you distribution if you made a song like that? Master P used to make songs where he would talk about that stuff once in a blue moon. He used to always say, as much as people used to call Master P corny, Master P always said independent, black owned. He always said that shit. He was one of the few. Nas wasn't independent and Nas wasn't black owned, but he used to always talk about the perils of the record companies. In that song called Black Zombie, he said he was a Columbia record slave. When do Jay-Z made an album called The Blueprint, but let me ask y'all a question, and so did KRS-One. What kind of blueprint can you build with the information that KRS-One or Jay-Z gave y'all? Did KRS or Jay-Z give anybody the blueprint to empowerment? Jay-Z got that song called Still a N-Word. Yeah, that's facts, Hob. Nas knew who he was and played the game to get out. And Nas was real young when he got into, and he understood and talked about the errors that he made. Hob said Jay-Z taught me how to make rock. Yeah, big facts. Big facts. Jay-Z is useless to us, useful to the establishment. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, a second source tells us Scott was angry from the start. Travis came in angry and intoxicated and progressively went postal, says the second source. His shirts said, "Back the F up." It's like he was posed for a battle. It was foreshadowing. We're told Scott was upset about the sound, and the incident happened within 10 minutes of Scott's arrival. It was fast and furious, the source says. A third source explains that the sound engineer lowered the volume on the speakers because Scott had it blasting and distorted. Travis then walked over to the sound man, yelling aggressively in his face on why he lowered the sound, then smacks the sound man right across the face, the third source said. It caused a big commotion between Travis security and club security. After that, Travis took the phone from one fan who was recording Don Toliver's performance and threw the phone on the floor. Scott, who shares 2 children with ex Kylie Jenner, has been tied up in various legal issues in the past year, including pleading guilty to disorderly conduct in February 2018, stemming from an incident in Arkansas prior to the year prior. The Butterfly Effect rapper was also charged with inciting a riot in May of 2017, to which he pleaded not guilty. His biggest scandal to date, however, was his 2021 Astroworld Festival in Houston, in which 10 people died after a stampede broke out that November. In the aftermath of the tragic event, attendees and families filed 400 lawsuits against Scott, Live Nation, and others involved in Astroworld. They were eventually combined into one civil case representing nearly 2,800 victims. They have been accused of negligence. Both Scott and Live Nation denied allegations of wrongdoing. Scott later told Charlemagne the God in an interview that he was 1,000% sure he did everything he could to help dying audience members. The Harris County coroner has confirmed that all of the Astroworld victims died from compression asphyxia. he still has that whole Astro World thing looming over his head. Yeah, I gotta agree with RG Titan. Travis Scott is trash. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell icon, take a moment and hit that bell icon twice. And also share the video to your various social media. All right. So now, Travis Scott, if I'm not mistaken, he's done some other stuff. Oh no, this is the same article. My bad. I think this is a video of what went down. This is a video of that same situation. All right. This is a video of the same situation. So now we got a couple people in here. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys like me to go live about the train derailments and about the Silicon Valley bank collapse? If that's something that you guys are interested in and want to see, give me a thumbs up. If it's not something that you guys are interested in and want to see, give me a thumbs down. Let me know what you guys think. Watch Travis Scott explode at DJ. Back the F up. All right. So let's check this out and see what happens. So this is what everybody said. Now, mind you, all right. I want everybody to take a moment, relax. This is what everybody's supposed to be outraged about. This is what everybody's supposed to be outraged about. Yo, so I gotta ask a question real quick because everybody's familiar with the East Palestine train derailment, right? I was thinking about making a shirt for my merch store, right? Whenever YouTube lets me get a merch store, because I'm supposed to be able to have a merch store at 2,000 subscribers, but I don't have the eligibility to have a merch store on either of my channels where I have over 2,000 subscribers. But one thing that I was going to make was I was going to make a shirt that has a radiation emoji with a cross burning over the radiation emoji. And on the back, it was going to say, "Remember East Palestine." And on the front is going to say, "Vinyl chloride, doing the Lord's work." What do you guys think about that? You think people would be upset about that shirt? If you guys think people would be upset about that shirt, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think people would be upset about that shirt, give me a thumbs down. And the reason why I figured I would make that shirt is because according to Charlie Kirk, the train derailments in East Palestine, Ohio, are a war against white people. Now, I don't know who it is that's waging that war against white people, but hell, if they're going to say that it's a war against white people, we all know that vinyl chloride, is one of the chemicals causing the most issues out there, and it's radioactive. You know what I'm saying? It goes right along with the theme, so why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? See, like, here's the thing, right? They would make shirts and comments like that about us. Do you guys remember when the governor of Mississippi said, "Thank goodness he didn't have to go to Jackson so he didn't have to drink the water with all those people down there suffering"? Remember that? And everybody just thought it was so funny. Okay, you think that's funny? Well, guess what? Vinyl chloride is doing the Lord's work. Now you don't even have to step into a tanning bed. You can just walk outside and the shit that's leaking into the ground will give you a tan. Oh my God, that's just so cruel. Oh my God, that's just so mean. Oh my God, you're just so vile. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Shout out to vinyl chloride for doing the Lord's work. So now here it says, before allegedly punching a sound man and damaging $12,000 worth of equipment at Nebula early Wednesday, rapper Travis Scott also got into it with the DJ. In a video obtained by Page 6, Scott is heard yelling back the F up and seemingly pushing a DJ who was trying to adjust the sound. According to sources, Scott had the volume turned up too loud, which created distortion before the sicko mode rapper flew into a rage. He flew into a rage, but everybody survived the suburbs. But you know what? During Astro World, they didn't survive the suburbs. During the Astro World performance, about 10 concert attendees did not survive the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Following his altercation with the DJ, Scott went up to the sound man and started yelling aggressively in his face on why he lowered the sound, said a shocked witness. He then smacked the sound man right across the face. It caused a big commotion between Travis's security and club security. So all they did was just put the video in the same article, basically. All right. So let me ask you guys a question. How many people read my my community post about the Oscars? If you read my community post about the Oscars, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't read my community post about the Oscars, give me a thumbs down. Did you guys read it? If you read it, I'm curious as to what you think about it. Yeah, I agree, DSB. Is anybody surprised? Florida teacher entered a romantic relationship with a student. Another Florida teacher entering a romantic relationship with a student. If you guys are surprised by this, give me a thumbs up. If you're not surprised by this, give me a thumbs down. Okay. A teacher in Hillsborough County, Florida, sexually abused a male student, according to deputies. Authorities claim Paige Marie Morley, who was 22, started an inappropriate relationship with the boy. She taught at Winthrop College Preparatory Academy in the community of Riverview. Authorities. Morley entered into a romantic relationship with a male student, deputies claim. Based on one of the charges, the boy was somewhere from 12 to 15-year-old. She liked him young. What do you guys think? Carla said, looks like Ezra Miller is the only person that can get away with anything and not get punished. Yeah, big facts. No, what's that other girl's name? The one from Colorado? She got away with stuff. You know what I'm saying? She got pregnant. She got knocked up by a 13-year-old, and it was all good. Mom was pissed. Hobb says, not surprised, but tired. Yeah, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? You know what's interesting? No, the teachers aren't getting any R. Kelly treatment. They're getting, shuffled right under the rug. Nobody talks about these people. Despite how difficult it is to survive the suburbs, nobody talks about them except us, but that's okay. That's our own thing. We'll talk about surviving the suburbs. Morley coordinated to meet with the victim after school hours through various school-sanctioned events beginning in February of 2023, authorities wrote. These events were at the school following normal school hours. During the event, the victim and the defendant would engage in sexual acts. Morley is now at the Falkensburg Road Jail on a $145,000 bond for lewd or lascivious battery, lewd or lascivious molestation, lewd or lascivious exhibition, authority figure soliciting or engaging in a romantic relationship with a student, sexual battery. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Did this woman groom the student? Did this student or did this teacher groom this student? If you guys feel that this teacher groomed this student, give me a thumbs up. If you guys feel that she didn't, give me a thumbs down. It's unfathomable how a trusted member of our community could abuse the power and position they were given, said Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Croniser. This woman was entrusted to educate students and be a positive influence. Instead, she is a disgrace. As a father, I empathize with parents who are learning of this, and I appreciate the school's cooperation during this investigation. All right. So that's her. Another teacher with hot pants. You know what I'm saying? Whoo. You know what I'm saying? Got to find me a male student. You know what I'm saying? Really? Now, you guys ever heard of the creepy substitute teacher? Shout out to Greets. What's good with it, Greets? Let's everybody greet Greets with some radiation emoji. Has anybody ever had a creepy substitute teacher? Did they happen to look like a walking corpse like this one? This substitute teacher here allegedly sexually abused children at a Florida elementary school. When is Ron DeSantis going to address these horny, creepy ass teachers in Florida? Ron DeSantis, in his next speech, he should say, Florida is where substitute teachers go to thigh. School is where the Florida teachers go to thigh. The only thing that this guy is missing in this picture is the oxygen tubing. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing. Other than that, it's a pretty good picture, don't you guys think? His name is Wolfgang. Oh. Wolfgang Springer. According to these people here, he touched children inappropriately. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know what I'm saying? And a creep. I bet you for every liver spot on his face, he inappropriately touched a child. Deputies claim a substitute teacher used his position to, quote unquote, gain access to children and to, quote unquote, inappropriately touch students. Wolfgang, isn't that Mozart's first name? Wolfgang? Wolfgang Mozart or something like that? So he's part of the Wolfgang. You know what I'm saying? Wolfgang Springer, who is 83, of Dunellen, Florida, was arrested on Thursday for 2 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation of a child less than 12, 4 counts of lewd and lascivious conduct, and 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a child. There he goes right there. Nice sheriff portrait. Facts. Shout out to Ricky. That's exactly what I said on my on my community post. A bunch of superficial people that get plastic surgery to glorify themselves and look at us like peons on the Oscars so that they could make a bunch of articles saying XYZ got snubbed. XYZ got snubbed. Why they're really just making fun of you by saying that. See, I explained this in detail in the community post that I made. There is no value in getting an Oscar. All the Oscars are like a private social club. If you live in a suburban neighborhood and you win the Best Lawn of the Year award, it's all subjective. It's all favoritism. It's all a part of the boys club thing. That's all the Oscars are. The people that make outbursts and are upset because they're not given an Oscar, these are people that just want to belong. They want to belong in there with that crowd of the people who are the ones that determine who gets the Oscars. I just want to be accepted. I just want to be loved. Oh, why can't I just be loved? Why can't you just embrace villainy? And with all of the amazing actors that we have, come up with a legitimate acting award where you block people out and we only give the award to each other, the same way that they do them. But then we peg the price and return that a movie makes to the amount of those awards that you get. And then you start price gouging Hollywood to say, hey, I got 6 Blacklight awards, man. My movies gross over 500 million every single time one comes out. Unless you can pay me $1 billion per movie, I don't have no holler for you. But instead, they want to get on their knees and grovel like how Starscream was groveling to Galvatron. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Do you know why they continue to do this kind of stuff? They continue to do this kind of stuff because they like watching people. When people are able to make people feel bad, it makes them feel superior. When people have you completely wrapped up into their nonsense and into their lies, it makes people feel superior. Listen, I've worked at one of my jobs for over a decade, and guess what? I've never been employee of the month. Guess what? Everybody who has been employee of the month is no longer employed there. Stop caring. You shouldn't care about acceptance from these weirdos that don't bathe and brag about it anyway, especially when you know that you have legitimate talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Angela Bassett is upset that Jamie Lee Curtis, you know what I'm saying, won a Oscar. Man, everybody knows that Angela Bassett is one of the dopest actresses in the world. She's one of the dopest. She's got a wide range of character performances that she can do. She played Marie Laveau and outacted all of those clowns in American Horror Story. She was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back. She's always the wife. I think she was Malcolm X's wife. And I'm sure she's in more movies than that. You know what I'm saying? Angela Bassett is an amazing actor. And I tell you what else, she's not an accelerated age. She's not an accelerated aged person either. She's married. You don't hear her in a lot of controversy. You know what I'm saying? She minds her business. Who cares that Jamie Lee Curtis won an award? Jamie Lee Curtis looks like she got up out of a casket this morning. Angela Bassett still looks like she's in her late to mid 40s. Who really won? Angela Bassett got to play Malcolm X's wife. Denzel Washington got to play Malcolm X. Most black people respect and adore Malcolm X. And Angela Bassett was chosen to play his wife. Yeah, facts, Torian. Big facts. Yeah, she played Katherine Jackson. She chooses her her roles. What has Jamie Lee Curtis? What part has Jamie Lee Curtis played in with historical significance to the United States or to white people? What role has she played in? A fictional character in The Walking Dead that actually got kicked out of the prison? She got kicked out of the club and then they let her back in after she was killing people inappropriately. People weren't surviving the suburbs, even in post-apocalyptic America with Carol around. You know what I'm saying? So people like Tyler Perry, people like Spike Lee, you have to ask yourself the question, why is it that you all haven't gotten together and created a legitimate awards ceremony where the awards are pegged to objective value that not only show appreciation that you can lock other people out of, and maybe one of these days we'll let you in. And actually, once we do let you in, then all we're going to do is just tear you down, right? Because anytime we let somebody in, we should just tear them down because that's what they do with us. If there is a black person that wins an Oscar, that person will have that Oscar for a long time, and then they'll be involved in a scandal, and it'll be the person who rose to fame and then fell down. Well, we can do that too. We can let in selective people and then completely socially destroy their credit too. But not a lot of people want to play dirty like that. And like I said in my post, if you don't play dirty, you end the game with a clean jersey, but you don't get a W. I'd rather have a dirty jersey and a win. And I don't care who I take out in the process. As long as I'm doing things to better what we have going on over here, I don't care who I take out in the process. It's the same thing that I was talking about. How many people saw my community post that I made about the political legitimacy index calculation? Did you guys see that? If you guys saw that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't see that, give me a thumbs down. Torian said, did you see PBT broadcast last night? He mentioned basically something I've noticed for a long time when it comes to the Oscars. They will award black actors that statue as long as they, let me guess, as long as they buck dance, or as long as they put on a dress, or as long as they say something stupid or are not productive, are portraying the worst of themselves. Angela didn't stand a chance last night because she was the queen of the wealthiest nation in Marvel. Facts. That Professor Black Truth is on it. And like it, I know Professor Black Truth got to get frustrated sometimes because like people be missing a deep message, like the deep message that Professor Black Truth be coming with. But it's real simple though. Professor Black Truth always says bootlicking and being a coon is incentivized in a WS system. So the fact that if you were, I mean, like that, if you understand that simple line that he always says, then you basically understand that video, because this is an award. You will give the white people awards for their acting. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to give you an award for being a complete circus clown. And not only after we give you that award for being a complete circus clown, we're going to take you all the way up in your career. And then we're going to laugh at you when you fall, because we're going to manufacture a fall, just like how we manufactured building you up. That's one of the reasons why we have to stop making those legitimate awards by participating in them and thinking that we deserve them. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Directors and actors like Denzel Washington, Spike Lee, you know what I'm saying? Get together, create a set of criterias, make your own awards, and then peg the amount of those awards to the pay that those actors are making, and say our award-winning actors are making $500 million every movie. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with the political legitimacy calculation. We prioritize our agendas and our needs, and we put them in a weighted average equation. And any politician that doesn't get a minimum score doesn't even get considered. That way, it doesn't matter how many articles come out. Guess what? Obama is on TV with a chef apron on, and he's got a chef hat, and he just pulled some hot butter biscuits out of the oven that Martha Stewart taught him how to make. Guess what? We don't care, because you got a political legitimacy index calculation of 0. We're not even looking at you, clown. But what the evidence shows is that people don't want to do that kind of stuff. It's not that difficult. I just thought about that last night. It just dawned on me. Let's make an objective and quantifiable way to assess political candidates based on prioritization and statistical information using a weighted average calculation. Yeah, okay, I can come up with that. People don't want to make a think tank. People just want to hear about this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag Oscar so white. It's supposed to be so white. It's supposed to be. Oh, the system is broken. No, it's not. The system is working exactly how it was designed to work. If the system was broken, what that would mean is that there's no white supremacy. White supremacy would be considered an outlier of unfair incidents. White supremacy is the system. And the system rewards you for being an idiot or a degeneracy or being dumb as a sack of rocks. Because that's the only time you're useful. There's nothing wrong with the system. Something wrong with the system would imply that it's not working the way that it's supposed to work. It is working the way that it's supposed to work. The entire point of the system is to continue to perpetuate the financial structure and the societal structure of the United States based on using us as an outcast group of people. You're never going to gain inclusion when society has been engineered to perpetuate itself based on you being an outsider. I don't understand what people don't understand about that. The only way to deal with this kind of system is direct confrontation in every area of its existence. Yeah, Denzel wins an Oscar for Crooked Cop, but should have won for Fences. He should have won something for Malcolm X. But Malcolm X was an intelligent black man who made a big impact on the United States. We don't need a bunch of Malcolm X's running around here. We don't need a bunch of black people interested in what Malcolm X did. No, shame on you. It doesn't matter how good of a job you did in that movie. That's not what we want. People need to start seeing things for what it is. Torian said, now you know he wasn't winning for Malcolm X. The shock that he was even mentioned for the role. Yeah, big facts. They gave Denzel 2 Oscars for being a slave and for being a crooked cop. There you go. Facts. And that right there basically validates everything that everybody's saying. So now here's the question. Think about this, right? Knowing this, right? Like I understand, like, you know, if you're young or if, you know, you might just be one of these people that's walking around that don't really know how the world work. And then maybe one day you have your world is correct moment and everything just starts to make sense to you. But what kind of people actively support this kind of system? Think about that. Think about that. What kind of person actively supports this kind of system? What does that tell you about the athletes? What does that tell you about the politicians? What does that tell you about any of these kind of people? They're more outraged about Travis Scott than they are about this substitute teacher that can't keep his hands off of kids. Everything in the world is performative. That's why they give these people awards for acting. Look how they're acting fake outrage. Everything is an act. We're going to act like the United States is a legitimate country. We're going to act like we have a legitimate government. We're going to act like we have legitimate politicians and leadership. We don't have anything that's legitimate. The United States is a pyramid scam. And racism is the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? And we're the base of the pyramid. And it's enraging to me that people continue to still voluntarily be the base of that pyramid. When they get into a position where they can actually make a difference, they fold like a deck of cards. Why won't they accept me? Why won't they accept me? Who cares? I never ever cared about anybody accepting me. If I can't get accepted, I'm gonna do one of two things. I'm gonna set up my own shit that's better than yours, or I'm gonna get to the point to where I'm so big and so strong, your acceptance of me will be you begging me not to kick your ass. I really wish that more people had that mind state. The Oscars. On Sesame Street, Oscar came out of a trash can, and that's where all those awards need to be at. I'm so tired of seeing people crying about that shit. Do you know that people energize them when they cry about that shit? They go into their little circles and go into their little enclaves and laugh about it. Oh, man, you see how they just wanted to be with us. They just wanted to be amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. These people don't, these boule, weak, coward ass clowns have no backbone. None. The assumption should be that Oscars are so white. If people weren't under a false pretense, and if they actually walked around and looked at stuff the way that they actually would look at it, they would know that what they have to do. But people are so terrified of the thought of having to pull weight in reality that instead they will endanger their own lives by continuing to live under a false pretense. It's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? It's really frustrating to see that kind of stuff, you know? So now here it says staff at Hernando Elementary School told the school resource deputy on January 31st that Springer, a substitute teacher, may have inappropriately touched some students. The county school board removed him from his job while authorities investigated. A detective began to find multiple juvenile victims as well as several juveniles who had witnessed these acts, according to the sheriff's office. The children told investigators Springer touched them inappropriately, authorities said. Evidence backed up their stories, according to the sheriff's office. This case exposes how a predator can and will work themselves into a position of trust to gain access to children, said Sheriff Mike Pendergrass. Springer violated the trust of the children he was supposed to teach and the trust our community placed in him. A classroom is supposed to be a nurturing and safe environment, not a playground for a predator like Springer. I hope this arrest will be a starting point on a journey of healing for his victims. Now, here's the problem, right? The problem is that there's a million other people sexually molesting children in Florida at the Florida school system. Hobbs says, what happened to Monique after she won the Oscars? Oh, didn't she have the parabolic fall from grace? She had the parabolic fall from grace that everybody seems to have. Nobody can handle the Oscars because if you get an Oscar, you'll have a parabolic fall from grace. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing special about the Oscars. The only thing that's special about the Oscars, like I said, is the amount of surgery that those people get or how fast they age. You know what I'm saying? You could be 35 looking like a 75-year-old. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? So, speaking of politicians, how many people heard about this right here? Former GOP candidate repeatedly arrested for torturing and killing his partner's pets is arrested for threatening cops. Notice he's allowed to threaten these cops and be alive. He was arrested, not taken to the coroner's office. Do you notice that? Everybody that notices that, give me a thumbs up. If you don't notice that, give me a thumbs down. Look at that. Former GOP candidate repeatedly arrested for torturing and killing his partner's pets. Why would you torture and kill your partner's pets? This is what I wonder is his partner George Santos. Is his partner George Santos? Does anybody know? Do we have the official word? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell icon, make sure that you guys hit the bell icon twice, and please share the video to your social media. Raymond Neuberger, an alleged repeat animal abuser and former politician, appears in a mugshot after being arrested for threats and harassment on March 7th of 2023. A former Connecticut town official already accused of abusing animals on numerous occasions was recently arrested for allegedly sending threats to local law enforcement via text. Now, here's my question. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Does that make any sense? Why would you do that? Oh, I can't stand these cops. Fuck you bastards in blue. It was probably a text message too with pink font. You know what I'm saying? Raymond Neuberger, who is 39, was charged in October of 2022 with 1 count each of assault in the 3rd degree, cruelty to animals, and disorderly conduct over allegations that he beat one cat to death and doused another in bleach. Just weird. The politically active Neuberger was also reportedly facing domestic violence charges in that investigation. So he was whooping his partner's ass. In addition to doing other things to it, he was whooping it. You know what I'm saying? Now, this video down here caught my eye because it's a Florida councilman arrested for a DUI. Look at this. He's acting like a complete moron. Look at this. Hold on real quick. Let me turn this volume all the way. We're finna turn this volume all the way up so I can hear this fool acting like he ain't got no damn sense. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Watch this. Look at this. I'm gonna go to the tail light. You turn around. Relax, man. You turn around. Relax. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that. Drunk as a skunk. He don't even know what's going on. Look at him. Get a good look at this dummy. This is where the taxpayer dollars are going. They talking about reparations, but here go where the taxpayer dollars are going right here. Yeah, I got mailed it too. Now, look at this. I'm going to show you guys something. They do such a good job of keeping this kind of stuff under wraps. They do such a good job of keeping this stuff under wraps. For one, they don't tell you what this Florida councilman's name is. And for two, I bet you there's nobody in here who knows what his name is. Any of you guys know what his name is? Y'all know what this Florida councilman's name is? Who is getting arrested for being a drunk? Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Look at that. We got some dumping the motorcycle over. Like in between the cyclists. They got the whole dash cam video on here. So now, anyway, back to this. He served as a member of Fairfield's representative town meeting from 2013 to 2017 and unsuccessfully ran for the Nutmeg State Legislature as a Republican Party candidate for the 133rd District of Connecticut House of Representatives in 2016. On Tuesday, he was arrested and charged with 1 count each of threatening in the 2nd degree and harassment in the 2nd degree, following several threatening and harassing text messages sent to law enforcement, the Fairfield Police Department said. The Fairfield Police Department described Neuberger as the suspect previously arrested following the extensive investigations involving the infliction of torturous harm to animals. The defendant was first formally accused of animal cruelty in 2018. At the time, he was charged with 4 counts of malicious wounding of an animal in the 1st degree for allegedly injuring his then fiance's two 5-year-old Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, Thor and Charlie. Police allege that he burned one dog and fractured the other dog's ribs. Nuremberger allegedly said he burned Thor when he accidentally spilled coffee. A veterinarian said, however, that the burn was far more severe than what could have been caused by coffee alone. Investigators determined that the defendant poured boiling water on the helpless animal, leaving him with burns on 8 to 10% of his body at the time of the abuse in 2017. An attorney was appointed to vindicate the dog's rights. I was insisting that he get jail time because cruelty to animals is a serious crime, and I had no confidence that he wouldn't offend again. Animal attorney Kenneth Bernhold told the Middleton Press in 2018. The message here should be that people who commit cruelty to animals are going to jail. Nuremberger served a limited amount of time in jail before he was granted access to accelerated rehabilitation, a pretrial diversion program in Connecticut. I wonder how many black people from Connecticut have gotten that accelerated, whatever the hell they call that. What do you guys think? He got accelerated rehabilitation. How many people have ever heard of accelerated rehabilitation? If you've ever heard of that before, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't heard of that, give me a thumbs down. I've never heard of accelerated rehabilitation before, but that sounds to me like something that's reserved for the privileged members of the public. Doesn't sound like something that's reserved for the villains. You know what I'm saying? Last year, he allegedly hurt two cats that lived with his girlfriend. So this dude, he one of them people that switch back and forth. He has partners and girlfriends. That's how monkeypox gets spreaded. You know what I'm saying? Switching back and forth like that. Who was that made that song TLC Switch? Switch. Last year, he allegedly hurt two cats that lived with his girlfriend. Jim was beaten to death. Pearl was chemically burned down to the muscle on her abdomen, according to an arrest warrant obtained by Stamford Advocate. The Fairfield Police Department's Detective Bureau, working in collaboration with Fairfield Police Animal Control officers, conducted an in-depth and lengthy investigation. FPD Lieutenant Michael Paris said in a statement at the time, following a necropsy, veterinarians determined that the cat died as a result of blunt force trauma. The defendant was free on bond pending court proceedings over those allegations when he was arrested this week. Nuremberger was released after posting a $5,000 bond for these threatening allegations. He is currently slated to appear in court on March 15th. So they gave him a couple slaps on the wrist, which is a lot more nice than he was to those animals. You know what I'm saying? He was a lot nicer. The law enforcement was a lot nicer to him than he was to the animals. Now, you know what I'm thinking here? The little sidebar conversations that we've been having today. There's some pretty good stuff. Would you guys agree? The sidebar conversations that we've been having, there's some pretty good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some pretty good stuff. Now, what I wanted to say about the sidebar conversations is that I think that people should become country singers. And I think that a lot of people should start playing hockey. You know what I'm saying? I think that. I don't think that people would do it. But I think that they should, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that they should. And the reason why I think that they should is because look at all of the people who have infiltrated rap music. Let me ask you guys a question. Of all of the people who have infiltrated rap music, have any of them given back to rap music, or have any of them improved rap and made it better? Or have they just taken? They've made money. You know what I'm saying? They've made their millions, and then they just left. And then after they leave, they turn around and talk crazy. What invader of hip hop has made hip hop better? Did Fat Joe make hip hop better, or did he show his hand? Now, if there's one thing that the United States loves, they love their vets. But this one is alleged that he murdered his wife. Murder trial for soldier in death of pregnant wife on Fort Campbell postponed. So there's something that's more important than the trial to see if he deleted his wife. There's something that takes precedence to that. The court material trial for a soldier charged, or the court martial trial for a soldier charged with the murder of his pregnant wife, Megan Santiago, has been postponed after the military judge issued a continuance on Saturday. Sergeant First Class Joseph Santiago is charged with murder and other crimes in the incident. Let me ask you guys a question. Has anybody heard about this? If you guys heard about this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't, give me a thumbs down. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. When it comes to white people, this is part of with the Oscars. When it comes to white people, when non-black people commit crimes, these kind of crimes get glorified. This is the kind of thing that'll become a Lifetime movie. This is the kind of thing it'll be on True Crimes, because it just can't be a degenerate crime if they do it. It has to be something special. It has to be so special that it requires a 2-part documentary, because it was just so complex and so complicated and so great. And there were so many avenues of everything that just needs to be investigated. It's just so complicated. But if one of us commits a crime, it's just us robbing a gas station, despite the fact that the socioeconomic elements that create the high crime environment are just as complicated as any Iceman inheritance that causes the stuff that a Lifetime movie is made out of. It goes all the way back to the Oscars, which is one of the reasons why more people need to talk about what goes on at the suburbs, because the suburbs are an exclusive club, just like the Oscars. That's one of the reasons why you guys remember on Just Talking with TD and Rob when I said every time there's a white flight, there's black people hanging off of the airplane. Remember when I said that? Was I lying? How many people, especially people who are older than us, associate quote unquote living in a good area with how many white people are in a square mile radius? I know that everybody in here has heard that. I'm going to go over here on the white side of town. Good luck surviving the suburbs. Shout out to Catsy. What's good with it, Catsy? Yeah, like the Jared from Subway documentary. Yeah. It's just so complicated. Murdaugh will have a documentary. Jeffrey Dahmer got a documentary. He's just so complicated and interesting. I mean, he just has to be studied because he's so complicated. I mean, he's so great. He's so great, 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 great. You know who I think is great that should have a documentary? 50 Cent. Because his ass was a successful criminal and he's a successful entrepreneur now. And that actually takes brain power. It doesn't take brain power to beat your family senseless until they die and then turn the gun on yourself. That doesn't take any brain power. That takes animal instinct. And you know what I just thought of? if you put a piece of white bread in a toaster, right, it comes out brown. But does that make it wheat bread? Like, does that make it wheat? How when you put the bread in the toaster and it browns on the top, that browning is not wheat, right? That browning is just, the chemical reaction that takes place from the temperature hitting the surface of the bread, right? But if you put white bread into a toaster, it does not turn the bread into wheat bread. It's still white bread. So the reason why I say that is because people always I was listening to a live stream the other day and people were associating the temperatures with people's melanin content. Melanin doesn't arise as a result of temperatures. Melanin arises because of certain ways that your DNA is encoded. Inuit people lived in some of the coldest regions of the world, colder than Europe, Greenland and Iceland, the northern Arctic areas of Canada, and they have melanin. Yet, like, you still have people like shouting down on other people, talking this insanity about people lightened up as they got into darker areas. You don't there What causes demelanination is a change in DNA, not a change in ultraviolet light exposure. I don't understand why people say that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hob. Hob says, sorry, Rob, but did anyone hear about Kobe's legal battle with high-tech pharmaceuticals for using Black Mamba? The trial was to start 3 days after his death. Nah, and I guarantee you they had something to do with it. Melanin is derived from tyrosine and melanocytes. Facts, DJ Elmo. It's not derived from it's produced when the sun hits your skin. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that works. But that's what happens. See, when you watch YouTube, the one of the problems with YouTube is that people that don't have any kind of credentials can just get on YouTube and literally say anything. They don't have to cite a source. All they have to do is just turn on StreamYards and they can just sit there and talk and just wear your ears out. You know what I'm saying? And they don't actually look at scientific evidence. Hey, Miss Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker said exactly, Rob. It was selective breeding. Who did it? Was it who did it? Was it Yakub who did it? You know what I'm saying? But they'll just literally say anything. And the thing is that when there's accurate content that's put out on YouTube, YouTube will strike your channel and say that the stuff that you said wasn't accurate. I was actually supposed to go live on Blacklight Revelations C19 report today, but YouTube struck my last live stream on Blacklight Revelations C19 report. I appealed the strike and they took it off. There was nothing that was anywhere near misinformation or nothing anywhere near hate speech in my last live stream on Blacklight Revelations C19 report. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter though. They don't care. There's a channel on YouTube, and me and TD Hip Hop Media talk about them all the time. There's a channel called Redacted. How many people watch Redacted? I watch Redacted. You know what I'm saying? Just like how I watch Jimmy Dory. You know what I'm saying? I watch Tim Pool. I watch political content. I watch Matt Walsh. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what these people are talking about. Redacted constantly talks about C19 conspiracy theories. They have over 1 million subscribers, and at any given time, they can have 30,000 people in their live streams. They said that it was misinformation, Katsy. Like misinformation got married to Mr. Information and changed the last name. You know what I'm saying? There was a wedding. I don't know if you guys knew about it. You know what I'm saying? But misinformation was a VJ up in New York City. She's an Asian woman. Got married to Mr. Information. Oh shit. Torian said, I remember I got a strike 2 years ago for alleged medical misinformation when it came to the woo-woo. All I read was an article from a legit source and I got struck. They didn't want the N-word. Right. Speaking on it. Right. Right. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why my C19 channel, it doesn't grow. You know what I'm saying? Don't none of my channels grow. You know what I'm saying? But they will though. They will. Just watch. YouTube can only do so much. Just watch. You know what I'm saying? So now anyway, this is Megan Santiago, and as you can see, she's holding her belly because there was a baby in there. On Thursday, the trial began with panel selection. The defense team and the government interviewed potential panelists to find 8 unbiased members out of the 14 who were selected. These members ranged in rank from colonel to chief warrant officers. By the end of day 1, all 14 panel members were excused after almost 10 hours of strenuous interviews. The reasons varied for these dismissals, whether it will be personal bias, outside obligations, or prior knowledge about the case. A Clarksville Now article was entered into public exhibition after it became known that the candidates had read up on the trial, despite having ample time and knowledge that they would be sitting in the courtroom as potential jurors. They reset the panel with new potential jurors on Friday, and even though they were able to find unbiased panel members, an issue arose on the admissibility of certain evidence. The judge ruled against the admissibility of the evidence. The government then notified the judge of its intent to appeal the decision, according to Major Russell M. Gordon, Director of Public Affairs, 1st Special Forces Command. The case now goes to the Army Court of Criminal Appeals, and there's no timeline for their decision. Santiago will remain in pretrial confinement. So that's him right there. That's Santiago. On September 27th, Megan Santiago sustained blunt force injuries and later died in the hospital, according to her autopsy report. An emergency C-section and brain surgery were performed in an attempt to save her and her unborn child. The baby girl survived, being born 8 weeks early, but Megan died from her injuries. Santiago is charged by the military with murder, bodily injury to an unborn child, and 2 specifications of assault. The military judge for the case is Colonel Travis Rogers. Sergeant Santiago is represented by defense attorney Jason Marquez, clinical director and adjunct clinical professor at Military Justice Clinic at the University of Houston, and defense counsel Major Army Grandos and Captain Elizabeth Pallier. The trial counsel is led by Major Michael T. Gilmore and Major Captain Derek Depew. Okay, that's pretty bad. The mother of your children, you bust her upside of the head with something, and they have to do emergency brain surgery and an emergency C-section so that your child doesn't die, but the woman died. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else we got here. We got a lot of stuff because people are busy, man. This is one for Torian. Torian, I like this. It's an older story, but Torian, I like this. Here goes some Operation Protect the White Boy for you. You know what I'm saying? This man shot at deputies during a 100-mile chase. He pled guilty to attempted murder in Clarksville. If he pled guilty, that means that he survived shooting at deputies. Let me ask you guys a question. How many times have black suspects that got canceled shot at deputies? Most of the times when the black people get shot, they get a bullet in their back because they're running, which makes you wonder, why do you continue to run? If you're going to fight, you may as well just stand there and fight, because they're going to shoot you in the back anyway, because cowards shoot people in the back. And we know that WS are cowards. You know what I'm saying? Like, cowardice and WS go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why they have a history of shooting people in the back. But then you have to ask, well, knowing the history of getting shot in the back, why do we continue to turn our back and run? Does that make any sense? Appreciate you, Chili. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So this is him right here. Torian did a video about Lance Stores, and I did a video about Lance Stores. Lance Stores just got found dead in his jail cell. He was waiting for a trial, and he shot and killed, if I'm not mistaken, 3 police officers. And he made it to trial. He survived. He survived resisting arrest. The police didn't survive the suburbs, but he survived resisting arrest. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon twice, and share the video to your social media. So now here says, a man who led a high-speed chase while firing at deputies across 2 counties has pleaded guilty to attempted first-degree murder and other charges. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of y'all think y'all could survive doing something like that? They'll make a movie about this guy. Oh, he was the daring bandit who drove across country firing at deputies, just like cops and robbers and cowboys and Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, okay, you know, the propaganda, man. The propaganda is real. You know what I'm saying? That propaganda ain't no joke, is it? Donald James Robinson took the plea on February 8th in Montgomery County Court, according to a statement from District Attorney General Robert Nash. On June 20th of 2021, Robinson, then 40, driving a top-down convertible, was stopped by a Stewart County deputy, and he couldn't produce a valid driver's license, according to a previous Clarksville Now report. Robinson was a convicted felon. Oh, no, I didn't know convicted felons came in that flavor. While a deputy tried to run him through NCIC, Robinson fled at a high rate of speed. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies were asked to assist in the pursuit as they headed east and crossed into Montgomery County. After Montgomery County deputies joined the pursuit, Robinson fired at the deputies using a handgun. The chase, which reached speeds in excess of 100 miles, continued on Dover Road, Paul Huff Parkway, and Fort Campbell Boulevard, often into oncoming traffic, Nash said. So it was going down. You know what I'm saying? It was going down up on here, y'all. Y'all see this? Robinson's gunfire struck the windshields of MCSO deputy Josh Beck and Stewart County deputy Casey Wilburn. Look, there goes the holes in the unmarked patrol vehicle right there. So he shot and hit the windshield of these vehicles, and it's just okay. Nothing to see here, folks. It's just okay. You know what I'm saying? He also rear-ended a Montgomery County unmarked patrol vehicle during the pursuit, according to previous reports. The chase lasted over half an hour before Robinson crashed into a tree line at the end of Calvert Drive. Deputies with both agencies, assisted by canines, located him nearby and took him into custody. Assistant District Attorney John Stevens prosecuted the case. Robinson pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon with a prior drug offense, aggravated assault, and evading arrest by a vehicle with the risk of injury or death. He received a sentence of 35 years to serve with the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Robinson expressed his remorse to the deputies for his actions, with Deputy Beck present in the courtroom. Let me ask you guys a question. Does he qualify as a thug? If this guy here qualifies as a thug, give me a thumbs up. If he doesn't qualify as a thug, give me a thumbs down. Now, you know, they had a little chase. They had a little fun. Nobody's dead. This guy is clearly a threat. You guys saw the shots inside of the windshield. So we got to ask the question, how'd this guy make it alive? Also, here's my other question for you. All of these local news events that take place, right? All of these local news events. Why is it that we don't ever hear about the local news events? Isn't that something? Isn't that weird? We don't ever hear about the local news events. This isn't the kind of stuff that they're talking about on Fox News. This isn't the kind of stuff that Tucker Carlson is sitting there looking confused about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this guy is still on the loose or not, but here's a 27-year-old assault suspect that they apparently need help finding. You know what I'm saying? They need help finding this fella right here. This is an article from February 28th, still fairly recent. CPD seeks public's help finding 27-year-old assault suspect in Clarksville. That's him right there. Looks like this is a former mugshot, so this dude clearly has a history. Looks like somebody left a hot iron on his forehead. Like somebody was trying to iron some creases into his forehead. He looks like he's high as hell on this right here. I get high every day. I get high all the time. I get high. Yeah, it definitely looked like somebody left a hot piece of steel smoldering on this dude's forehead, doesn't it? You see that big red, like hot press shaped impression on his head? I wonder what that's from. Do you guys think it's do you guys think it could be a thinking engorgement? You know what a thinking engorgement is? Is when people that are really dumb try to think, and it causes so much pressure on the frontal lobe of their head that it forces the skull and forehead to protrude outward. Do you think that that's what that is? I don't know. Only time will tell. We know we won't be visiting the coroner's office for him, so we won't get a breakdown of what that is. The Clarksville Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating 27-year-old Dalton Lawrence. CPD said on February 23rd at around 2:44 p.m., Lawrence assaulted a 33-year-old male at the victim's residence and then fled the scene. Officers said this was not a random act, as both individuals are acquainted with one another. I'm curious, how are they acquainted with one another? We're going to leave that part out, though. Lawrence is 6 feet tall and weighs approximately 195 pounds. He has brown hair and green eyes and should be considered armed and dangerous. Well, that's why they're letting him run around. Anyone who has information regarding his whereabouts is asked to call 911, and anyone with additional video footage is asked to please contact Detective Neal at 931-648-0656, extension 5538. To remain anonymous and be eligible for a cash award, call the Montgomery County Crime Stoppers tips line at 645-8477 or go online and submit a tip at p3tips.com/591.clarksvillenow.com. If you provide a anonymous tip, how are they going to get you your money? Does that make any sense? Facts, Renee. That motherfucker had a mushroom stamp on his forehead. His forehead said inspected. So can I ask you guys a question? Why is it that when these couples are involved in degeneracy, the couples look so strange? Like, I mean, they really look strange. Like, they look like some characters off of Lord of the Rings. Like these ones, for instance. You know what I'm saying? This dude look like a little mole man, and his wife looks like the human version of Evil Lynn. Husband and wife were arrested after their dogs mauled and killed an elderly man, the police said. Really? You know what I'm saying? A husband and wife living in San Antonio are facing criminal charges after their dogs attacked an elderly couple, killing an 81-year-old man, according to a statement from the San Antonio Police Department in Texas. On February 24th, the 81-year-old man and a 74-year-old woman went to a friend's house. When they arrived and got out of their car, two American Stafford Terriers living next door to their friend's home escaped from their yards and immediately attacked the elderly couple, police said. You think they ran up on them like that dog on Martin ran up on that table? Y'all remember that dog on Martin? That Rottweiler? I bet you them things broke out them chains and was just running like some damn hyenas into the next yard. The old man probably didn't even see it coming. Jumped all up on him. He probably fell down, busted his hip, couldn't get up. They just sitting there snacking. It's terrible, man. The arresting officer gets the reward money? Really, DSB? Oh yeah, nah, man. They can find those people on their own then. If I call in a suspect, they've been looking for it. They're not going to pay me that money. The arresting officer gets the cash reward. It's a trick for us to do their job. Yeah, they can keep on doing their job. I really, now that I come to think about it, I haven't really heard of anybody like, announcing like, yeah, I got this payout right here from a tip line that I turned in. Hobbs says I have to ask what ethnicity the elderly couple was. I don't know if it says or not. I don't know if they have any pictures in here either. Witnesses saw the attack happening and called 911. Let me ask you guys a question. Yeah, them dogs was like the dogs was wilding out like Martin's little Rottweiler. Oh, that's terrible, man. That's terrible, man. Let me ask y'all a question. We're talking about Texas here. This is the state of Greg Abbott. Do you think that if the people around the area saw a black elderly couple getting attacked by a dog, that they would have called 911? I don't think they would have. I think the ancestral instincts would have came back, and they kind of just would have been sitting around like it was something ceremonial to watch them getting torn up by them damn dogs. I don't think if the couple was black that the Texans, regardless if it was Latinos or white, I don't think they would have called the police. If anything, I think they would have called some friends to watch. That's probably it. So I don't think that this couple, that the elderly people that got attacked were black. You know what I'm saying? When San Antonio Fire EMS got to the scene, the dogs were still attacking the couple, so crew members attempted to break up the mauling. During their efforts, one of the EMS crew members was bitten in the leg by one of the dogs, according to the police. I would have punched the shit out of that dog for biting me. I'm not, man, I'm so not playing with these animals out here. You think we gonna be, you think you finna be all wild and crazy like you out in nature? Okay, bet. I'm gonna show you a wild human. That motherfucker would have been like, oh, man, I would have not, man. What, you flea infested rabies having, man, I'm finna tear your ass up. You bit the wrong human. Barking and shit, waking everybody up. I'm finna avenge everybody you ever woke up biting me. The victims including EMS crew member were rushed to the hospital, authorities said. The 81-year-old did not survive. After the attack, the dog's owners, Christian Moreno, who is 31, was arrested and faces a felony charge of attack by a dangerous dog causing death and injury to an elderly, police said. A week later, on March 1st, Moreno's wife, Aibileen Schneider, who is 31, was taken into custody and arrested on the same charges. The city of San Antonio Animal Care Services also responded to the incident. They took both dogs involved in the attack, along with another dog living in the Moreno Schneider home, into their custody. The original dogs involved were euthanized on Friday. The third was euthanized on Saturday. ACS continues to investigate whether the dogs match the description of animals involved in any other cases, ACS said in a statement on Facebook. We are deeply saddened by this tragic event and strongly urge all pet owners to keep their pets properly secured in their yard for their own safety and the safety of others. Court records show Moreno and Schneider have case status hearings scheduled for early April. They're sitting in jail because they didn't have their dogs secured. Oh man, I'm telling, man, bro, I will have people so mad. Yeah, people think that it's funny when they dogs be barking at people and doing all that disturbing, irritating ass shit. Man, man, oh man, let that motherfucker off the leash. You will see some shit that you wish you had never seen before. Cause that's like, people really be getting killed by them animals because they don't want to, they don't really want to. I mean, like they don't really be want to be involved in no tussle all like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't be wanting to be harmful or hurt the animal or anything like that. Man, listen, I don't give a fuck. You not about to be biting all at my throat and locking up on me and doing all this extra ass shit, and I'm sitting there like some kind of victim. I'm gonna wrestle your ass down to the man. They'll think I was the one with rabies. And then after I get that dog, I'm coming out and I'm gonna come the same way that dog got off that leash coming at me. That's how I'm finna come at the owners after I take care of that dog. Renee said a dog can never feel alpha over a human. Them dogs be on some other shit. They be on some wild shit. Hobbs said dogs that bark at humans should be put to sleep. Dogs barking at dogs is the way that it should be. Here go my thing. Keep your damn dog under control. Keep that motherfucker under control so that elderly people don't get killed and so that you don't end up going to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? Now check this out right here. There's a judge that's puzzled why it's taking so long for a woman who killed her stepson to be taken to trial. It is. Judge is puzzled. Why is it taking so long for mental health report on woman who allegedly murdered 11-year-old stepson? What do you need a mental health report for? Lock her ass up. She killed somebody. Duh. It's plenty of people that got mental health issues that's not out here killing their 11-year-old stepson. I don't even understand why that shit needs to be looked into. Lock that ass up. She looked weird as hell anyway. She looked like some shit that would pop out of the door when you press the doorbell on Halloween and shit with some candy. Could you imagine if this was your mother and she was standing over you at night talking about want some cookies? So the child was automatically traumatized anyway because he's seen this crazy ass face right here. She looked like a damn Annabelle doll. She murdered her stepson, Gannon Stauch, in his bedroom on January 27th of 2020. She looks like a murderer. You can tell by the eyes. Look at her. Look at her eyes. There's nothing behind those eyes. You know what I'm saying? There's no animation or anything behind those eyes. It's just blank. It's just glass. As they call that shit dead eyes. You know what I'm saying? So guess where this took place? Imagine that, in Colorado, because it always goes down in Colorado. A Colorado woman accused of killing her 11-year-old stepson may lose a key witness as part of her defense because a doctor for their side has yet to supply a mental health report less than 2 weeks before the trial. Judge Gregory Werner said what he called a hard deadline for Leticia Staunch's defense of 5 p.m. on March 16th to submit the report. Jury selection is scheduled to begin on March 20th. Opening statements are set for April 3rd. The prosecution said that if the document arrived too late, they might ask the court to keep this expert witness from testifying. So far, they only received preliminary impressions with no final conclusion, a prosecutor said. The state also notes 2 other doctors did meet with her in the pretrial period. In addition to the mental health report, the defense also wants Staunch, who is 39, to undergo an MRI. That's her, that must be the 11-year-old stepson that she killed. Staunch is the woman accused of fatally attacking her stepson, Gannon Stauch, who is 11, in his bedroom on January 27th of 2020 in El Paso County. Authorities claimed to find blood on a mattress, walls, and floors, as well as in the defendant's WV Tiguan SUV, Volkswagen Tiguan SUV. Deputies believe that the defendant acted suspiciously when the child was first reported missing. She allegedly told them that Gannon went to play at a friend's house, but she was described as being unable to tell them the name of the friend or the location of the home. The suspect allegedly claimed to investigators on January 29th of 2020 that a man named Egardo raped her and kidnapped Gannon. Authorities didn't buy this story, however. They said she didn't call 911 about her account, and she didn't want to look into collecting evidence against the alleged attacker. Investigators said she fled the state and was arrested across the country in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Staunch at one point acted as her own lawyer, and in 2021 made unsubstantiated claims that a doctor who examined her was clearly an actress, and her defense lawyers were in cahoots with the prosecution. Staunch switched her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity in February of 2022, resulting in Werner pushing back the original March 28th of 2022 start date on her trial. The judge showed no signs on Wednesday of wanting to push it back any further. Speaking to the defense, he imitated the seriousness of the deadline. He wanted them to convey this to the doctor. It's not a suggestion, he said. It's not a guideline. It's not a hope. It's a deadline. All right. So this is crazy. This is insane. Here's my question. How many people heard about this particular incident? If you guys heard about this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about this, give me a thumbs down. Okay. So All of these crimes that take place. Yet the world is outraged about certain things, and we just don't hear about these kind of things. And you got to ask yourself the question why that is. Why is it that we don't hear about certain crimes? You know what I'm saying? We just don't hear about them like we should. So there's definitely more crime content out there, and we'll definitely be getting back to it next time CRIMECAST goes live. But until then, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who came in. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash that like button, share the video out to your social media, watch the rest of the streams and the videos on the channel. And I'm laughing at Torian. Torian hit me with the buzzer beater. He said, Rob, whenever you say you got to ask yourself that question, I'm prepared for you to say the world is correct. Yeah. That is the question that you got to ask. These kind of crimes keep happening, and they keep happening at a high frequency. We got to go back and look at the reasons why they're being enabled to happen. And if they are being enabled to happen based on the actions that everybody's doing, then we already know the answer. The world is correct. So with that being said, y'all, I'm going to try to go live or make a video on some of this other stuff a little bit later. The Silicon Valley bank collapse and the train derailments. All right. So if I go live a little bit later, I will catch y'all on that live stream. If not, it'll be a video up of it. All right.